It's where the best are, you know. Gods of Ink is literally like the top tier of tattoo artists, really. I mean, there's loads of great tattoo artists in the world, but like if you're working at that show, then you're pretty high up on the list, I would say.
Yeah, not only the artists, the calibre of the artists and the work there is unbelievable, but you know, there's huge brands there, huge networking opportunities. So
oh yeah,
we went over there just to finally put a face to the name for the big brands that we work with.
Plus also giving them a face to the name, because there's so many people that we email and DM, brands and artists, and we never actually meet them because they're across different countries and that. So now there is that connection with, you know, from Star's perspective, I know there's Ghost and Star, but from Star's perspective, we stock everything from Allegory, Dynamic, Quadrant, you know, you name whatever brand is out there, we've probably got it, and we don't know absolutely every single person there. It is important to do some networking physically, because you can do your phone calls and video calls and everything, but nothing beats just having a beer and chilling out with someone actually at the convention instead.
We took the opportunity to speak to everyone that we could and all the artists that we never get a chance to because we were normally busy at shows. So it allowed us time to come off the stand and go around and have proper conversations with very important people. People that you see online with hundreds of thousands of likes, followers, meeting them in person and just finding out they're just proper down to earth.
John Nelson, he was sound. We spoke a little bit over DMs, but like meeting him in person was kind of like really cool, because we've got a lot of inspiration from him for the video side of work, but also he's just a class act, isn't he? He was just nice to speak to.
To be fair, the whole team around John as well, like the Allegory booth, everyone there was amazing.
Yeah.
Marquise was just class, as always, and
Mystique as well.
Yeah.
He was cool. My personal favourite to watch, Julian Siebert. But seeing him work was cool, but it was a bit hard to see because sometimes there was a big crowd of people around him. So I was like, I'll come back in a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was good to see him working.
Gully, very talented guy. Every single show this guy goes to, he ends up with a massive crowd around his booth. His stuff is so different. You'll never see anyone else do that work in a show.
He was good. He was. I think watching people work is great, but then also looking at the portfolios, because that's another thing. You don't actually see so many bodysuits like there is at Gods of Ink. The amount of people that are walking around, like, you know, we saw those three dudes that walked past and it was like, oh shit.
Every inch of their body is covered in just ridiculous work.
Yeah, and it isn't even like, oh, it's just covered. It's like, it's packed in colour and it's like shaded like perfectly. So seeing it up close is just...
Yeah, you don't really see a tattoo smaller than an A4 piece of paper at this show. It's masterpieces on masterpieces, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of good work there, because people turn up just to show off the portfolio.
Yeah.
There was one guy that walked around with Yarsen's work on his back, and immediately when we saw it, we were like, we know whose work that is, but he was just like, yeah, here's his card. It's like, we know, don't worry.
Yeah.
But like, there's so many people out there that have these like bodysuits and big canvases all over them, and you think, that's like being done fresh at this convention, but there's so many of them walking around healed as well. That's nice to see that.
Artists kind of get the limelight at these shows because they're the ones with the huge talent and everything, but seeing so many people kind of bring human canvases that they've done their masterpieces on, walking around the show and just showing that off a little bit more, I think would be awesome to see in UK shows, because I don't think I've seen that before, to be honest. So we took all the new furniture over there, the trays and the demon armrest, and we did demos all weekend. It was super, super popular. A lot of people, you know, stopped by and asked for some demonstrations, so pointing them in the direction of Star, and yeah, I'm sure we've placed a lot of orders over that weekend for some furniture, which is great.
I don't think people understood how good they were until they physically see them.
Yeah.
Because we got a lot of them to do the little foot pedal thing, and they were like, oh, and, you know, moving the armrest around, it until you see it physically and actually do it yourself, I don't think you realise the benefits, but they had a good little play on them, didn't we?
Yeah.
In general, people came to the stand just because it looked cool. They weren't even tattoo artists.
Yeah, the rebrand's done huge favours for Ghost, to be honest. It's just nice to see an industry that's so artwork heavy to finally being reciprocated in tattoo brands. Yeah, I think everyone that knows Ghost or is just finding out about it are pretty stoked about how it looks.
I am as well. I think the brand that Ghost is now compared to when I first joined, it's had its little like ups and downs and this, that and the other, but I think the way it is now visually, it's like, I couldn't imagine it being any better, really. If people were coming up to the stand just to say, what are you selling? And they weren't even tattoo artists, they were just coming up and going, what are these? Picking up the cartridge and saying, what's this? It's like, well, are you a tattoo artist? No, I just love the way it all looks. It's like, well, I can't really sell you anything, but thanks.
Yeah.
Gods is 3 days, but you set up on the Thursday, so it is a little bit longer. There is a few more UK shows now doing 3 days, and they lasted so long, didn't they? Some people were still tattooing until 10 PM.
I know in the UK it can be late anyway, but I think it's rare that you see an artist kind of go into all those hours in the UK.
Yeah.
Whereas there was a lot of people trying to finish their pieces for
Oh yeah.
the awards on Sunday. So
There was multiple categories, but obviously if you're going in for the best of day and show, and these canvases are not small, like Luke said, it's very rare you see anything smaller than an A4 piece of paper.
yeah, it's crazy to see how committed the artists are at this show.
And the client as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Sitting there for 3 days.
shout out Ryan Smith, the perfect example for this. 2 hours sleep on one of the days, and he came back and still tattooed for 10 hours the next day. In there at 7:30. It's just blows my mind.
Me and you were tired that day.
we were flagging.
And we were just talking to people all day. We weren't tattooing. I think we could get a lot of inspiration for, you know, the experience that you offer customers at your booth at a convention, because I think this show, it was very much a case of people are there to show off product, brand and connections rather than making money. Because usually in the UK shows we are there to supply the stuff that people need for the weekend, whereas at this show there were so many people that had supplies and everything. It wasn't a case of, right, let's try and make the most money we can out of this weekend. It was, let's get the most out of this weekend. I would probably say from my perspective, like, it's kind of taking a leaf out of the Tattoo Armour book. So these guys at their booth actually had a wrapping station and they were doing it for all the clients for free. As good as it is for their product promotion, I think that just adds a little bit more kind of value to the show itself, because people are like, okay, I've got myself a tattoo. Yes, there's people like us there that will sell aftercare and everything, but I think proper, genuine care and, you know, hygiene guidance is also something that's, like, I wouldn't say it's missing, but it's not as good as it could be. So I reckon that's something that could sort of come into play a little bit. So tattoo shows, like Lou said, it's good to see the artists doing all their work and the skill and the level of talent that it is, but also the clients that do these shows. You do have to be a pretty, you know, tough client to sit through maybe 2 days of tattooing. And obviously if you've got all these people like doing pictures and everything like that, and at the same time you've got people talking to your artist and you're just sat there like, oh my God, just finished the tattoo. Like, big respect to those people. So maybe a bit more, maybe enhancing the aftercare and the hygiene side for the clients would be good. I think after this one, we've definitely got a bit more perspective on what a European show is and what you can do at these shows. I'd like to see Star and Ghost definitely be at other European shows next year.
100%.
I mean, we was asked to do them. We've been given loads of flyers and people have said, like, you know, can you come to this show and stuff? It's like, well, I have to see how it works. But yeah, we'd love to do more.